One is not really mature enough to understand and take in on the theme and theme and all that. After a point, I feel I had started taking it for granted. And then, when you take things for granted, you think, oh, it's going to be there always. But that's not the case. Doctors do not tell you, they are not able to tell you whether after the end of the treatment you'll survive or not. So it's actually you live with the uncertainty of living or dying for a period of time. Right. If cancer had not happened, maybe this Manisha that you see me would be different. So I have a way of thanking even cancer.
I read your book recently, Healed. Congratulations on your debut as an author.
Thank you.
Something that really fascinated me when you talked about sort of when you were diagnosed with cancer in 2012. You mentioned that you started questioning your life,
Right.
what you had done in life, what was the meaning of life. For us mortals outside, Manisha Koirala has achieved everything in life:
Right.
fame, glamour, money, power, friends, family, everything. What did you feel like you didn't achieve at that point?
I mean, I, of course, achieved not name and adulation and all that. But what happens is at least it's not the case with everybody, where I can only speak for myself. And what had happened was, I was right out of my school when I got into movies. So when people were in colleges, I was actually working. So I was not, one is not really mature enough to understand and take in on the theme and theme and all that. After a point, I feel I had started taking it for granted. And then, when you take things for granted, you think, oh, it's going to be there always. But that's not the case. Cancer to me gave me a huge jolt, a shock, and it was a huge reality check for me.
Sure.
And also the fact that, what happens is all of us see our loved one die, we see friends, families, they go. But it really does not hit you till you face it. And so once I started facing the concept of dying or death and all that, that was a huge reality check for me. And that was when I started realizing that, oh my God, that means my time is limited here. I'm here for some time. Now, this as a concept, one knows what, till it really is not your own personal experience, it just becomes a concept in your head. Then what happens with the cancer treatment is there's a long period of your treatment, and the doctors do not tell you, they are not able to tell you whether after the end of the treatment you'll survive or not. So it's actually you live with the uncertainty of living or dying for a period of time.
Right.
And that for me was a huge, like it shifted in, the way I look at life, and the whole thing shifted from that perspective. And a lot of, I started looking in introspection, a lot of trying to understand. That means this life, which has come to me, is almost like a gift. So a couple of things became like very clear to me. A, that, whenever it has death knocks at my door, I don't want to be dying of fear. I want to be going, laughing and smiling and bidding our goodbye. And hey, I was here. I lived a good life, and it's time for me to leave. So I want to go with dignity and joy rather than fear and, all that. That I'm clear about. Secondly, as long as I want to make the best use of this life. And I want to live fully. And I had to admit, I could not really bullshit to myself anymore that I had led a perfect life. Of course, my career was great, but personally, as Manisha person, I was not, I was too young when I got in. I was not trained for anything, and I had not been matured how to take in the success, the adulation, or paparazzi and yellow journalism or anything of that. I was too young, which was I was facing.
Yeah.
So, it was not an easy. It may looked to others, oh, she had an easy success, but it wasn't. One can, and I'm not the kind of person who have spoken a lot about my struggle. Neither would I want to cash onto that and get sympathy. But I've never been that kind of a person. But it's been tough. And I knew that I had to work hard, and then I knew that I loved my job and I wanted to make it. But everything, every person, everything was very new to me. So I stumbled and I fell and I had to pick myself up. And there was a time when I was falling and I didn't even realize I was falling so badly.
Sure.
Till cancer hit me. And cancer was like, boom, that was a huge reality check.
Yeah. But you mentioned, you talked about the fear of death and how you sort of don't have that anymore, and you've accepted it as a reality. But one line, and I wrote this down in your book, that really struck me was the day of your surgery, you thought of the headline, "Noted actor Manisha Koirala succumbs to cancer in New York." How do you transition from those thoughts to your thoughts today?
Oh, it took a while. It definitely took a while. I had thoughts of death when I was diagnosed. And because cancer, the moment one gets cancer, the first thing that comes in your head is death. And it is such a new thing in yourself because, again, I said, you've seen people closer to you, die, but you've really not comprehended your own death. It's impossible to do it, but it took time.
Yeah.
It took time. What I did realize that what is not okay for me is to be desperate and not able to say goodbye. When the time comes, I should be able to say goodbye with dignity. Yeah.
You also mentioned in the book, you talk about letting go of regrets and guilt and sort of moving beyond that. Is that really practical? Have you been able to do that when you look back at your career graph, any regrets that you may have in the industry?
Of course, we are human beings and we do err, and I'm totally flawed. So I have done mistakes,
Yeah.
and how can I not have regrets?
Right.
But at the same time, do I want to dwell in the regrets? There is another angle to it that if something sad and shocking as if cancer had not happened, maybe this Manisha that you see me would be different. So I have a way of thanking even cancer. I have to say I'm grateful for that experience. So at least I am where I am today.
That takes a very big heart to be grateful to cancer.
Yes,
And you've really gone through that.
yeah,
So
yeah. That's the reason because I see whatever happens for the best. At least for me, it has worked. I speak only for myself.
I never took cancer. I mean, I obviously took it seriously, but I think there was a part in your book where it just sort of pricked me. If I can just read it out. You were talking about the spirit, and you said, not too long back it soared. It now lies defeated and punctured, trapped within your physical boundaries, enslaved to a bed. What is that like? It's hard to even imagine something like that.
Yeah.
Reading it made me queasy. I mean,
Yeah. So it's basically that whole thing that that whole spirit of when you're on a high, when you're doing really well and the whole world is applauding you and you feel that you arrived and this is it and this is going to stay permanently and I'm it.
Yeah.
And your ego is at the top. It's pushed you at the thing, but suddenly you realize reality happens, life happens, and you're so helpless. You're so helpless. You can't even lift anything. You can't forget. Yeah, I guess it's expressing helplessness.
You talked about finding meaning in life. How do you find meaning? Where do you find meaning?
It's your choice. It's your life, and it's your take. So for me, it was important to find meaning. For me, because I needed to understand and comprehend what all has happened and how do I want to take it forward. So I started seeing, okay, what are the things that I enjoy doing, I love doing. And so I started putting all those things in a category. What are the things that I should really avoid? What are the things which doesn't give me joy, doesn't give me happiness, I'm uncomfortable. What are the. So I started putting that in perspective. And it's all individual's choice. Meaning is not out there, meaning is right here. You have to give meaning to your life.
It's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah, it's not out there. It's you need to
Because we tend to think what's going to drive me, what's going to motivate me, where do I find meaning, where do I find me?
You need to find inside what gives you joy. You need to navigate inside you.
Yeah.
Rather than outside. Of course, I mean, it's interlinked and intertwined again.
Sure.
But you need to always navigate, shut your eyes and navigate. Is this giving me joy?
Sure. Excellent. Thank you so much for giving your time.
Pleasure.
I really appreciate it. It's been an honor. And I have one quick request for you. So I have this audio cassette I would love you to autograph.
Okay. You still have an audio cassette.
It's I was debating. I said, should I bring this one or should I bring Dilse? But I like this album better. So
Okay. How do I, on top?
Yeah, you could just, sign on it.
I'm not a person who likes to watch my movies or my jo ho gaya so ho gaya, and people have loved it. Thank you for that. Let's move on. I really missed when there was a break I had taken, and I was realizing how much I love being in front of camera. Sanjay already had the script. I was not his first choice. So he wanted Madhuri ji or Kajol.
Okay.
And I had said, listen, if these two don't do it, I'm going to do it. So you come to me. You don't go to anybody else.